Is that something that you recommend for small businesses to start with? Is FEMA?
I do. Small businesses that are ready.
Is there a list of all the vehicles somewhere?
To get the list of keywords, maybe what I would suggest somebody does is use ChatGPT.
We're going to do this right now on a computer.
Let's prompt it. Provide me a list of government vehicles that I can register.
There we go.
There we go.
I'm a small business. I want to get into FEMA. Where should I start?
Trying to make sure you know exactly what area you want to go into.
What are some other myths about FEMA?
One major myth that if you get on ground, you will get a contract. Absolutely not. Government needs everything. There's so many contracts out there.
All right. So Rachel, you and I were just talking about your experiences working with FEMA. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure, yes. So I've been working with FEMA for years, actually. It started actually a long time ago before I even started government contracting. My dad, he owned a construction firm. And with his construction business, there was Hurricane Katrina that happened and a few other hurricanes prior to Katrina. So he does remodeling for commercial and for residential. So kind of helped him out with his business. I was in high school back then and I was helping him with his business and helping him find work in those areas. So that's when I actually started learning about FEMA and what they did. I was like probably 16 years old. And what I did was I just got onto like the FEMA website and just started contacting different personnel and finding out more. And then I found out that, hey, the best way to get him in is to contact the list of primes because he wasn't currently registered with FEMA. So we started calling the prime contractors that were already registered with FEMA that has done work in the past. So I started doing more research to see who actually did work with FEMA and like how much they've done in the past with FEMA and kind of different research tools. I started learning about in order to find this information. And then I started registering his company with the different prime websites and things like that and talking to them. So that's how he got in. His first contracts were actually demolition, which he usually doesn't do, but he subcontracted the demolition portion. And then he did like the cleanup and things as well. So he did that first, and then he went into going in and remodeling different residential, but also mainly commercial properties that were destroyed due to hurricanes or different storms that has happened throughout Louisiana and Texas.
And so that was your first forte into the government contracting space, correct?
Yeah, correct. In high school, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And since then, have you done work with FEMA since that time?
Yes, I have. So after I actually started working in other companies that were doing work with FEMA. So one of the companies, KBR, does some work with FEMA, not a lot, but they do some work mainly it'll be through a different tool, like not GSA schedule, but they would normally have like a blanket purchase order or something like that in order to do work with FEMA. There's other prime contractors that I worked with when I had my construction firm as well, where I was the subcontractor and doing work with FEMA as well.
Okay.
And yeah, and mainly same thing, just repairs. But FEMA, there's more than just repairs, but my part of it was repairs. I mean, they have so much staffing needed, housing needed. There's so many areas that's needed when you look at FEMA, and like you have to be able to go at a drop of a dime.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's been my experience too. We had a student that had some trucking contracts that FEMA called her and she couldn't assemble the trucks. And so, I mean, they were like from one day to the next. They called her and said, "Hey, can you get 35 trucks out by Friday to go to this location?" And she couldn't make it happen. So she forfeited that contract. So apparently you like FEMA. Is that something that you recommend for small businesses to start with? Is FEMA?
I do. Small businesses that are ready.
Okay.
That's what I would say. Yeah. So because FEMA, you have to think of this. It's like this is a life and death situation in some cases, and making sure that you're ready. You have your teams that are ready to go immediately. You know, you're ready to go to work immediately, and you kind of know what you're doing. That would definitely be the right small businesses to get into this. But if you're literally just starting and you're brand new, it's been a month and you have no idea how to run a business, that's a little bit of a different story there. Yeah, so I would definitely advise small businesses to get into FEMA. It's a great place to start.
Okay. So now let's talk through about some of the first things. I'm a small business. I want to get into FEMA. Where should I start?
Number one is making sure that you follow certain steps. One, you have to register on SAM. And when you register on SAM, you should check the box that says disaster recovery, if you're able to provide that. If you check that box, that's the first step that you that you want to make sure you do after your SAM is in and registered and good to go. Another place that I would advise you to go is onto the FEMA website. You can actually register with FEMA directly on their website, but you have to be registered in SAM first. After that, you want to also make sure you have a capability statement. Your capability statement should reflect disaster recovery. So if you do cleanup, so your NAICS codes should reflect the cleanup. Those Everything within your capability statement should reflect what you do. So
Okay.
that would definitely be there.
Okay. Now, one of the things that people ask me all the time is, you're in Texas, you're close to that recent situation that happened, the disaster that occurred. I think it's called Kerr County, is it what was it? It was Kerr
Yes,
County?
correct.
Okay. And, people clearly, everyone wants to run to FEMA after they hear about a disaster. But how do we get ready before there's a disaster so that, we're the ones that they're calling, not kind of like chasing something, opportunity after it happens?
So definitely before is the best way to do it. Get on their list, get in front of FEMA. Different ways to get in front of FEMA prior to, after you've done all the registrations, your SAM.gov, and you select disaster recovery that you are capable of providing that. You have your capability statement, you've registered on the FEMA website. Now it's time to start grabbing those primes, those different primes that are already doing work with FEMA. You want to go on, you want to register on their website. They usually have like a small business liaison within their company, and you can talk to them. You can provide them with your capability statement. You let them know what you can do, your capabilities, depending on how many, if you're a trucking company, how many trucks you have, what type of trucks you have, what are your capabilities, what can you do within 24 hours, within 48 hours. That's definitely what I would advise someone to do. Go to networking. There's industry days. FEMA has industry days. So go to those industry days. You can find out when those industry days happen on SAM.gov. They're usually posted. If it's not multiple times throughout the year, it's at least once a year, and you can attend that and grab primes from there. You can actually talk to other FEMA personnel in there and be able to get ahead of the game.
Nice. And can you tell us a little bit about your background, right? I know that you were in the military. You're a veteran as well. Can you tell us a little bit about your background? How'd you get involved in all this stuff?
Sure, yes. So I'm an Army vet. I've been with the Army for 8 years. I actually came, when I got into the military, I came in as a 92 Alpha. And for those that don't know what that is, it's a supply tech. But if anyone that's been in the military knows, you don't just do your job, you do many others. So I was doing a lot. I was working a lot with contracting officers on the contracting officer within battalion and brigade at Fort Hood, Texas. And there's a lot of deployments and things. So finding vendors, sourcing, trying to find the right contractors in order to fulfill the contracts. And then after the Army, I went and I was with KBR on the contracting team. I did LogCap. There was LogCap 3 at the time when I was coming in. And then after that, LogCap 4, which it's just different contracts with the government. It's with the DOD, actually. After that, I just actually started going to smaller firms, construction firms on contracting team. Then I did construction, manufacturing, so oil and gas, and just kind of helping with contracts and obtaining contracts. So then I opened up my own consulting firm where I started helping small businesses, mainly small businesses, with gaining government contracts. One of my best clients, or I should say greatest success stories, is one of my clients that they won a MAC award. It was actually 2.8 billion MAC, and it was a global contract. So it was really great that we helped them get that. Yeah.
Nice. It's interesting. KBR was formerly known as Halliburton.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm just saying, look, again, they rebranded their name to KBR.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for all those out here who want to fact check, KBR was formerly known as Halliburton, the Halliburton, under current, at one point, the former Vice President Dick Cheney ran that group. So, yeah. Why do you laugh when I say that?
Because many people don't know that.
Well, that's the idea of rebranding, right?
Yes,
You know?
that's true. That's true. They're like, okay, there's KBR and then Halliburton. They thought Halliburton was a subcontractor for KBR. I get that a lot. So, yeah.
I mean, you know, again, I mean, I've been around. I've been around.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I mean,
you definitely
I've been
have.
around. That's, you know, so that's awesome. Okay, great. And for those who don't know Halliburton, you want to give people some background on Halliburton, just kind of.
I don't know much on
Okay.
when it was Halliburton. I knew more on the KBR side.
I got
But
you. Okay. So she's saying basically go Google Halliburton. That's what she's saying. She's
seriously.
you know, I get it. We got some relationships still at KBR. Halliburton, if you just Google them, you'll see that they were when they had a lot of contracts overseas after some of the war efforts that we had in the Gulf War and some other missions. So, but you can go look them up and you know, have your own opinion about the group. But they were very successful, made a bunch of money.
Yes.
And so
Yes, they did.
so you know, she didn't want to say that. I'm gonna tell you, look, they made a boatload of money. So go look them up.
Billions.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
but cool. So back to FEMA. So again, you know, a lot of people on here, they're already registered. So we've got that part. So we're registered. Okay, we're going to go to some meetings. We know, okay, what are some other myths about FEMA that people, maybe misconceptions that we have with FEMA?
So you have to have a plan. They think you can just jump and go on ground because the disaster just happened and you're going to get a contract. That's definitely, I hear that all the time. All the time. Oh, there's a disaster. Let's go. Everybody packs up, gets on ground, hands out business cards, and you know, doesn't really always work like that.
Right.
Yes, so I hear it a lot. I mean, I've seen many clients that I've had that's done that, and they were like, "Hey, I can't get in. I don't understand." You know, so that is definitely one major myth, that if you get on ground, you will get a contract. Absolutely not.
Right.
Kind of doing your homework, knowing if you're going on ground, okay, who are you going to see? You know, if you have your primes already ready and those are who you're going to see, then it makes sense. So just kind of knowing what you're going to do there, and who you're going to see. And if you do have, primes that you're going to see and try to work with there, you want to make sure too that you have your capability statement if they don't already have it. And
Okay.
yeah, and then many think that, hey, okay, I get a contract with FEMA directly. So many people think that as a small business that's just starting out, that is not the case.
Right. Right. Right.
Yes. Does FEMA literally they use a lot of different vehicles. So like if you're on like GSA schedule, or you're on also like a blanket purchase order, or even different LogCap, there's WexMac. So these are different vehicles that they use to go buy from, and that there's already primes on these vehicles, and that's how they turn around and they procure like all the time. They'll send a list. Like I get the emails all the time with FEMA is like, hey, they need tents, they need medical tents set up, they need a trash pickup, but it's coming through a vehicle of some sort.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mentioned LogCap. You mentioned WestMax. Is the other one?
WexMac, yeah,
Okay.
WEXMAC, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I know what my people always ask. Is there a list of all the vehicles somewhere? You know, that I know my audience. They're gonna be like, yeah, Eric. That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that question, right? You know.
You know, is there a list? So, as far as it being a list out there somewhere, if somebody generated it, I don't know. But I can tell you how we find those lists through SAM. So through SAM.gov, they normally would list them. So they'll come up and they'll say, okay, LogCap, or they'll say WexMac. All these contracts are listed, those keywords. But to get the list of keywords, maybe what I would suggest somebody does is use ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT for the government vehicles, because there's many. There's different ones. There's, GSA schedule is a very well known. WexMac is so new. It's like brand new. There is a 1.0 what's needed in the area, but it's globally. So it's not necessarily a certain area. It's whatever contracting officer within that region takes that. And it could be multiple contracting officers, because there's different contracting offices. So it's not in a specific location. So I get them from all over, literally from contracting office in Central America, from in there. I
Wow.
get that. Yes, but the the office location, actually, I'm sorry, is here in the United States.
Right.
However,
But
they're
they're
procuring
buying
for
stuff.
Central
Right.
America,
Yeah.
exactly, and for
Wow.
South America, and it's a disaster. Mhm.
Now, when you say you get that, what does that mean?
So I received an email directly.
But I
So
mean,
it's
when you
just
say you receive it because you're the prime, you receive it because you're on a
oh,
list.
got it. So I receive it directly because my clients basically are on these different
Vehicles.
vehicles. Correct.
Got you. Okay.
hmm
Got you. So your clients are on these different vehicles. And what did you say we should be Googling again?
So I said, don't use Google. Use ChatGPT. Google
Yeah.
will get
All right.
go trying to
All right.
figure
All
it
right. Listen, hold
out.
on. Wait. We're going to do this. I'm going to do this. We're going to do this right now on the computer. Let's do it right
Yes,
now. Let's do it together.
yes.
So now, what you want me to,
So,
what do you want
so
me to search?
let's prompt it. So, and let's be specific. So we're going to say, provide me a list of government vehicles that I can register with.
For FEMA?
Oh, sure, with FEMA.
Yeah,
I
Kyle.
would
We
put
want,
with I wouldn't put with FEMA. Let's see the list, because FEMA just goes and selects, because they're not necessarily geared to FEMA, because like LogCap is not, WexMac is not, but FEMA uses these
all
vehicles.
right. Let's see. All right. I'm going to put register for. Okay. All right. I'll change it. Let's do it. see what we got. If you mean government surplus vehicles available to the public, if you mean vehicles registered to the public.
All right, let's change the word vehicles. Yeah, I forgot. This is not.
Exactly.
This is not. Yeah, this is not.
Right.
Okay, so I would ask it instead of the word vehicles. We call them vehicles because we are military.
Right. Exactly.
So,
Task order contract
yes.
vehicles. Let's see this.
Contract vehicles. Nice.
Let me change it. There we go.
There we go.
All right. LogCap.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
And so I would start narrowing it down from here. So I would ask it to provide ones that are similar to LogCap, and then see all the ones that are similar to LogCap.
Okay, let's see. Similar to. Okay, AppCap, ConCap, Global Contingency Services Contract, Global Contingency Contract, DESA, Encore, SETI.
So that's one type. And so the other type would be more along the lines of GSA schedules would be
Gotcha.
type. Mm-hmm. So all of that list is pretty good. And then, well, WexMac is similar to LogCap.
Okay, I'm going to tell it about WexMac.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yep. And WexMac was literally, it was created for this. So WexMac is a very good one, actually.
Nice.
And it's new. It's a pretty new one. It's
yeah, it says that. Yeah. Year launched 2021.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
nice.
they had 1.0 was just a test phase, and it went pretty well. So they decided to develop the 2.0, and now 2.0 is going so well that and 2.0 actually just was awarded recently. It was awarded on the 24th of December, actually, of 2024, and it really started in the middle of January. And now there's a 2.1 on WexMac because it's going so well. Yeah, so it went up from the 2.0 was at 2.8 billion, but now the 2.1 is 10 billion. And 2.8 is focused worldwide, while the 10 billion one for 2.1 is focused on here in the United States, but a few states. So it's like, yeah. Nice. So those are definitely some great vehicles. So more than likely, if you're a small business, what you do, you use those vehicles to find the primes on those contracts. That's what you do with those. And go, these primes are looking. Trust me, they're out there. They're looking. They're hoping to get those right small businesses that can actually support them. So you definitely want to. That's a good way to get in there.
I love it. No, I love it. I love it. It's great. So now with your consulting firm, what is it that what kind of things, services do you offer to help small businesses?
So basically, what I offer is what I call it is a lifeboat. Because when I look at the government contracting arena, it's an ocean. So so basically, you will get lost. Trust and believe. There's so many different things, too many moving pieces. And if you only have so much funds and you're paying your staff and you don't know what you're doing, so we just kind of help you navigate. So going from doing your registrations, certifications, applying for contracts, and then I have a whole team of project managers that help you on your projects in case you're not sure exactly how to continuously provide the reports needed for the contracting officers, making sure you're successful. That's the number one thing. Yeah.
That's interesting. That's a great service offering. I haven't met many people that actually offer to, project management for small businesses.
Yes, definitely. Because the goal is to have you succeed. Government contracting is amazing. So if you can succeed in that, in the arena, you can go a long way. You can really grow your business.
Yeah, no, I like that. No, that's great. And then how do people reach you? How do we find you?
So I do have my LinkedIn is honestly one of the best ways. So I am on LinkedIn, Rachel Consulting. But also you can send me an email at rachelconsulting@outlook.com or info@rachelconsulting.com. And Rachel is spelled with the AEL, so it's RACHAEL. So those are the best ways that anyone can reach me.
I love it.
Yes.
No, Rachel, this has been great. I like this. This is definitely, I'm sure that this is going to help a lot of small businesses out there, particularly those who are interested in working with FEMA. And, look, everyone, I think at this point, we're just trying to find a way in, right? We're trying to find a way to break in, whichever kind of way. And my experiences in talking to businesses is that they're like, Eric, what should I choose? What should I do? I don't know what to do, right? Where should I start first? What would you say to someone that's saying, like, where should I start first? What should I do?
So all depends. If they're trying to start first, the number one place I would tell them to do is do their research. What I did when I decided to get up and go into this government contracting arena on my own, I literally started like studying, narrowing this down, really understanding everything, the ins and outs about it. So trying to make sure you know exactly what area you want to go into, because there's so many. It's like with government needs everything. So you literally want to narrow it down to a certain area and make sure that you take a look at FPDS.gov, which is an awards website where you can actually see how much these services are being awarded for, and really narrow it down to see how much your profit margins would be. So you can select the right area to go into. So don't just hop into it or just say, yeah, I'm just going to decide, hey, I want to sell notebooks, and just say, I'm just going to sell notebooks to the government and call it a day. First, take a look and see, what are those profit margins? How many notebooks you got to sell to make a profit? All these things like that. That's kind of what we help with as well, with those that aren't sure. Yeah.
No, I love that.
Yes, definitely.
So, all right, we're going to start our research. We're going to look at profit margins. We're going to look at easy things to start. There's a lot of people like that. I know people like that, easy, right? We always want easy and very profitable. It's like, okay.
I don't I'm telling you, I've seen it all. I've seen people want to sell like the office supplies such as pens and paper, and really think they're going to push millions of dollars and within a couple months.
Right.
Yeah. So watching and actually seeing how much is being purchased, what agencies are even buying what you're selling, like making sure you do your research and know where you're going, because you can spend a lot of money trying to figure it out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Or a lot of, no, definitely. I've seen people spend a lot of money and still not know what they want to do. So I mean, for me personally, I always tell people, take a step, take some action, do, it's hard to really know what you like to do or don't like to do until you've tried it, to seen it, to experienced it. So you can always change later, but I just seen so many people idle and doing nothing because they're indecisive And
Yeah.
it's for me, I always encourage my business, take a step, do something, right? Do something,
Yeah.
because doing nothing is definitely not going to get you very far.
It's not, and life is too short. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, if you have a dream, there's try your best to fulfill it at the end of the
Well,
day.
I
Yeah.
mean, look, they just passed a new big beautiful bill act,
Mhm.
increase the size of Department of Defense spending. So
Mm,
did they increase FEMA's dollars, or did they reduce FEMA's money? Or you don't know?
I'm not sure. I
Okay.
can't tell you. I'm not 100% sure. I know that I know there's just so much that as far as spending was increased on through the WexMac vehicle,
Yep.
through the LogCap vehicle,
Yep.
and it was one more, and I can't remember, but through those vehicles, yeah, and that's under the DoD, big time. It was
Gotcha.
increased, and a lot of that FEMA does use those vehicles. So, but I'm not sure if it was dedicated towards FEMA.
Oh no, I love it. No, this
Yes,
has been great. Rachel,
yes,
this has been
yes.
awesome. What do you want to some parting words for small businesses who are, thinking about getting into this arena, thinking about starting contracts, worried about the administration, worried about the president. Um, what do you say to all that?
So let's government contracts is not going anywhere. Like, I get that all the time. Like, they're scared because of everything that's going on in the Trump administration. There's going to be one administration after another administration after another administration. Money is money. Green is green. They're always going to spend it. So it's like, what it's just where they're going to spend it, right?
Right.
So one person, just think about it in your own household, right? You have your wife, you have your husband, you have your kids. Each one of you guys spend money in different places. So that's kind of how you look at it when you look at the administration. Each one of these different administrations, as they change new administration, has different places to spend money. And in this case, Trump is spending, for me anyhow, I feel like the spending that he's doing are in the right places.
True.
I can't say I agree with every single thing, but
Right.
I do
True.
agree with some of the spendings that he's doing, especially, I mean, disaster recovery. That there's so much being spent in the right places. So on veterans, he's increased even on veterans, and veterans need help. They need
Right.
therapy and services. So what I would say is don't sit and don't fall into the situation to where you're like, what am I going to do now because there's a new administration? If you get stuck on that, you're going to get stuck on there's millions of contracts still out there.
Right.
Like, so go after the other ones. Some are getting closed down. They are. Some are shutting down. So move and shift. Like, you've got to be able to move and shift, especially in this economy. So that's kind of what I would tell them, and I would also tell the small businesses. Like, right now, me and a partner, KNS Industrial Supply, we're looking for small businesses that would help us with bidding on the new WexMac contract. So if you guys are interested, I mean, we would more than likely love to have you, depending on what you do, because there's so many things the disaster recovery response, tents, medical. There's so many contracts out there. So please, I mean, feel free to reach out if you don't know what area to go into. And I forgot to even give you my website, rachelconsulting.com. So, honestly, go on there and just find all my information. Yes.
Hey. No, I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. Rachel, this has been great. I'm going to call you Rachel, the Queen of FEMA. That's what I'm going to call you. I'm going to call you Queen of FEMA. That's what you should. Hey, you should get yourself a nickname, and I think that would be my vote. Rachel, the Queen of FEMA. Okay. As someone who's been
Love
on
it.
social media for 7 years now, give yourself a name, okay? And give yourself a name. People will remember you by that. I'm telling you, Rachel.
That's
This is my
true.
advice to you. You didn't ask for it. I'm suggesting you offered my advice. You didn't ask for it. I think I would change my name to Rachel, Queen of FEMA.
Oh wow. That's
okay.
Nice.
So, and if you give us permission, we're gonna put that as your title and your thumbnail. Rachel, Queen of FEMA. That's what we
Nice,
okay.
nice.
It has a nice ring to it. People remember it. Listen, 7 years ago, I made up the name GovCon Giants. I made it up.
And I've been watching you for all 7 years.
Guess what? And you know what?
And it's great.
Guess what? People to this day, right? That's everyone knows GovCon Giants. Like, I tried to actually get away from it, and someone goes, no. That everyone knows GovCon Giants. And so exactly. I'm going to show you something funny. I saw this today. Literally, one of my partners who's been sponsoring my conferences for the last 2 years, I'm going to show you something funny. I was on their website today, and on their website, look what it says. To be determined, GovCon Giants contracting someone in Miami. They have it on their upcoming events already, even though we haven't pushed it. So this is what happens when you make a name that is memorable. So I think again. So yes, you've been watching me the whole time. That's it. That's fascinating.
I definitely have, because most consultants don't really know. Like they give advice. However, the advice, some of it will not be the correct thing.
Got you.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's unfortunate.
Spot on.
Well, the thing is, I don't talk about things I don't know, right? And then I never claim to know everything. And then I bring on smart people, right, to come and fill in those gaps of areas. So I've never claimed to do GSA schedules. That's not my swim lane, right? I've never claimed to do FEMA. That's not an area that I have proficiency in. And so, I've never done IT contracts. I've never done cost. Those are not my fortes. However, I've interviewed 25 IT companies, right? I've interviewed 45 people in GSA. I've interviewed, 13 people at Prime, so all those things. And then I give that to people, right? So, you honestly educate. I didn't ever heard about WexMac or LogCap. I don't know anything about it. So, I'll say all that to say that everyone out here watching, there's always room to learn in this industry. Never think you are too smart or you know enough, or that there's something that you're like, oh, I know everything about it. No one knows everything about this space. Not even the government knows everything about their own space.
Exactly.
No one does. You know. And it's funny that you said about the OTAs, because we've been talking about OTAs for 5 years, Rachel. I could go back. We had our first video on OTAs 5 years ago. Okay. We've been talking about OTAs, CSOs, and BAAs for 5 years. At my conference last year, we had an OTA roundtable. And I said, we're doing this because, in my opinion, this is something that this new administration is going to adopt. And on April the 9th, they came out with an executive order adopting it. We could not get people to even hear us about OTAs last year. They weren't even trying to hear it. They weren't even listening to us.
Wow.
And so because again, it wasn't fashionable, it wasn't widely adopted. It was some little obscure policy that kind of sat on the book somewhere. And so again, I've always wanted to see our country. I'm sorry.
But we were working on OTAs.
We were, but a handful of agencies were working on them. Yeah, a handful of people were working on them. No, OTAs exploded during COVID, but again,
huge
during COVID. That exploded during COVID, but a handful of agencies were doing it.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I don't know if you know, but I forget, was it 23 or 24, where they allowed, I think 15 new agencies were given authority to use OTAs, but none of them had ever done it before.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to talk to them about it, but there was no will. They didn't have the will.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now everyone's like, it's the new cool thing to do, which is fine. which is fine. But no, this has been great. So thank you so much. I appreciate you, Rachel, Queen of FEMA, and I'm introducing her as that way. I'm gonna bring it out. I'm gonna bring her out as a Queen of FEMA. Before someone else takes that name. Rachel. So, thank you so much.
It's funny. It's super funny because my past company was named Queen of Safety. So yeah, and that's where I'm winning contracts with. Yeah, and FEMA was one of those contracts with the dry ice contracts. Oh my gosh! But yeah.
So I think that makes a lot of sense to me.
Hilarious.
I think it makes a lot of sense. Well, we'll make sure to have all your contact information everywhere we see this. We'll make sure that everyone's watching gets a chance to get a hold of Rachel wherever she likes to be contacted at. So thank you so much, Rachel. We appreciate your time and coming on today to the show.
Thank you.